me, Mr. B, hosted on a Friday. Just seems really, really weird it not being a takeaway, but we're joined by Bath Time and Sugar. Oh, sorry, I'm Monday Q. How are we doing, guys? How we doing on a Friday, man?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm
Monday,
good as well.
that sweet tooth of yours.
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Doing great. It's end of the week, Friday. Starting to believe it is the best day of the week, Mr. B, as is yours. Yeah, big game tomorrow, and I've heard some terrible news today. Something it's like we tempt fate. It was spoken about. I think Bath Time mentioned it yesterday that we've got a vulnerable position, a couple of vulnerable positions on our side, and lo and behold, wake up today or some point today we heard some bad news. So that's really put a down on things, and yeah, we're really going to be tested now.
Do you think it's
you know what's it's just like going the whole week with just two guys on the Man United agenda. Almost as bad as that, Mr. B. You wouldn't know how that feels, but yeah.
Oh my god! Pow, pow. Oh my god! Monday, thank you very much for that introduction. And I tell you, I don't care. I don't. It's about time you did some. It's about time you did some bloody work. That's what I say. Ain't it Bath Time? Come on, Bath Time. Agree with me.
Monday's done a full week and one quiz, and he's running his mouth at everyone.
It, you know. Yeah. I must shout out to you two. I mean, like, running this channel is not easy. People might think it's easy. There's a lot of stuff to be done behind the scenes, thumbnails, and everyone seems to have their role now. And I was lagging behind, and I had a disciplinary recently. I got get up, you know. So I'm trying to pull my weight for these days. But yeah, really, I just love the channel, and it's so much fun throughout the week. I really enjoy it. It's not like, it doesn't feel like work. Buddies here and everyone in the comments as well. It's great stuff.
Yeah, I wonder why it doesn't feel like work on Monday.
I knew you'd say that. Good one.
Can we get into some of these comments before we start the show, please?
Who's doing them? All right. DK Wilson in the house. How you doing? Good afternoon, good evening. Saying obviously he's like 5-6 hours behind. Big up to everyone all the way from what's a good location? Bath Time. You said Miami yesterday.
I know we got that completely wrong.
I always change it. I've no idea where DK Wilson lives, and I don't want to
VPN
know.
Wilson. That's what we call him. VPN Wilson.
Just throw a dartboard on the map of the USA and wherever that lands. So big up DK Wilson, one of our favorites. Also one of our favorites, Stephanie Griffiths. She's in the house saying big up to everybody. Thank you, Stephanie. And let us know how many people are watching and how many likes. Andrew Williams, how you doing? Is this good or bad?
No, is it Utica, Massachusetts?
Oh, is that a city? Anyway, big up Andrew. Andrew, I want you on the quiz sometime soon in the next few weeks. Who else? Bart is in the house as well. Another muscular injury to a Man United player this season. Yes, it's disappointing. As DK Wilson saying here, all these frigging injuries. You know, Stephanie saying the Three Musketeers, no doubt about it. And Bart is saying here, who did United play midweek in Europe? That's a joke, obviously, because we're not in Europe anymore.
I was going to mention one of your relatives there, Bart, but I thought I'd keep it clean. So, yeah.
Stephanie Griffith saying, you're making running this channel so easy, aren't you, on one day? Yeah, I am. And Fort Worth, Texas. What famous soap was Fort Worth?
Dallas?
Yes, Dallas.
Was that Fort Worth?
Yeah, Fort Worth.
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't it? Oh, no. What was the ranch, the house was called?
Yeah, Prairie. Fort Worth. No, Dallas wasn't in Fort Worth. No.
What was the name of the house in Dallas? I don't know. Someone help us
out
here.
South Fork. Who was South Fork? Was that Dallas, right?
We deserve better to said South Fork as well.
Okay, there you go. So
there you go.
Fort Worth, Texas, isn't it? Guys, yeah, we don't know our geography for America, but most Americans don't know any geography outside of America. Isn't that right, Bath Time?
I don't. I have absolutely no frame of reference to draw upon.
Okay.
They invade a lot of places, so I imagine they're pretty good at it.
All right, enough of that. Enough of that. Let's
Right, look, guys.
Southport.
Obviously, Ten Hag had his press conference today, and he started with news. I got a couple of messages today, and actually thought it was a wind up, and they were from Man United fans. They were from Liverpool, Arsenal, a couple of Chelsea, and a couple of other ones that don't really matter. But
That's a good sign, isn't it?
yeah, the fact that I was getting those texts mean that they fear Rasmus. That's what I got from it. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe they just wanted to wind me up. But that's what I took from it. That right now they're worried, because if anybody else in the team got injured, I don't. Even Martinez came back and got injured. Didn't hear a peep. Didn't hear nothing. So the fact that fans out there are beginning to fear him, I am happy about. But Jesus, I have no idea what we're gonna do for to switch this team up. I know Bath Time, you had a not a rant, but I think it could easily have turned into a rant if I had pushed your buttons on a player that you do not want to be starting the game.
Yes, Anthony,
talk to me. And why guys in the chat, are we in agreement with Bath Time about Anthony, or is it just a Bath Time situation? Talk to me, Bath Time. Come and explain, man.
Like, I don't like Anthony as a footballer. I don't know if I have to explain why I don't like him as a footballer. We've seen it for a very long time. And I don't want him getting back in the team because I kind of want him out. So what I'm fearing is he plays Garnacho on the right wing, Anthony on the right wing, Garnacho left wing, and Rashford up front. And I don't like any of them in those positions. I think it would be really unfair to throw Amari Forson in. I watched a bit of Stefan's channel today, and he was saying that I haven't looked at the news, but apparently Forson is coming to the front as who's going to be the number 9, and
this is a team that you don't want.
Yeah, like I don't want that team. I also, before anyone says, I don't want McTominay at 9. I don't think he's got the attributes for a number 9. I think he's much better at attacking like behind the ball rather than being the furthest up the pitch. But it's really, really disappointing that we're in this situation where we've got an injury-prone, like 21-year-old as our main striker.
Is he injury-prone, or shouldn't he have been playing with his back issues? Should he have been playing? I mean, we don't have a choice. We don't have anybody else to play. But is this something that was coming? Do you think was coming? I just didn't want to hear back. I don't want to hear nothing to do with back. Muscle injury, I'm assuming, is thigh, calf. If it's a muscle injury, would that be under back?
I wouldn't have thought so. I think it's a thigh strain, or like a groin or something like that. Like against Luton, like OMONDI, do you remember what his shirt looked like against Luton?
Yeah, I said that when I watched the game. Dirty, like he'd been working hard.
Okay.
Yeah. And we worked him so hard, and then we brought McTominay on a bit in the second half to kind of give him a friend up front to help with his running. But I just don't like the situation that we're in. I mean, like, when it gets to the City game, to be honest, if things go badly in the Cup and against Luton, our season is finished. So Ten Hag has got to get it right this weekend, and he's got to have a plan for the coming games on what that strike force is up front, or if there's a system change. I'm like, I was on a high yesterday, and now I'm on a low. So OMONDI, bring me up, take me to heaven.
Sorry, I can't help you. The only really can't. I've been thinking about it as well, and like you suggested something really quite good, referring like with the absence of Holjund we're talking about putting Garnacho on the right, Rashford on the left, and Bruno as the false 9, and then that gives an opportunity for a certain McTominay to come off the bench and play. I think that's a solid way to go about it. But I've got a feeling, as you know, there's a lot of pressure here. If you don't play Anthony, there'll be questions asked about, well, why is he the automatic choice to come in? He's fit. He's worth a lot of money, and it's going to be a slap in the face to him if he doesn't step up, because he has been a mainstay since Ten Hag signed him. Basically, he's been a man that's played near enough every game, even when we felt there should be other options, you know. So it's going to be really interesting. Just so that if Bruno plays and Anthony's on the bench, I will praise that. I would say that's a very good selection because we're on form and we don't want to mix up too much the front line. And then McTominay can come in because McTominay deserves it more than Anthony. But if Anthony starts and McTominay's on the bench, I think that's down to pressure or some sort of a pecking order hierarchy within the first team, which I don't like. And that's what I'm waiting to see, what I'm waiting to find out. So an hour before the game, at 2:00 tomorrow, we will know where the manager's at with things like this. And yeah, I'm interested to know what you guys think and the people in the comments about how we're going to make adjustments for this game to get a win.
Well, just before we get to the comments, I was wondering if anyone remembers what happened in pre-season and also Ten Hag's first game for Man United. Like, what do you remember what the team was against? Was it Brighton?
Did Sancho start?
Sancho did start, and we played a false 9, and the false 9 was Christian Eriksen. And then he got played as 6 the next game against Brentford. But we also, in pre-season, were using Sancho as a false 9. So there's a possibility that we could see Bruno in as the false 9.
If Bruno goes tonight, are you saying that we have McTominay starting in Bruno's position? Is this the gist of what we're getting at?
Kind of. Like McTominay, I think, would be a little bit deeper. And what Bruno would be doing is he'd be connecting the dots, but basically the lines. So Bruno would be coming deep to receive, and he'd be playing at 45-degree angles or knocking it out to the wing. So the team would be getting up.
So what do we do in regards to pressuring them? Because Holjund's obviously plays like our trigger. We can't rely on Rashford to do that. And Bruno will do the running, but I think it'll be more headless than sensible. He just runs. He just wants to run.
Well, I mean, like if we have McTominay in the team, we can play a 4-4-2 block. Like pressing's like obviously a really important part of the game, and it's like was it like Sean Dyche, Monday? Do you remember that video where he talked about pressing was the new passing, and that's like 10 years old. So obviously we lose something if we take away our press, but we can also defend. We can also defend in a block. And to be honest, I'd much prefer to defend in a block against City than I would to be going out and pressing them. And Bruno has got the energy to go and press the goalkeeper and the centre backs and stuff. Like that's the hardest running part is the centre forward in a press.
Stephanie's got one. Hey, Eriksen in Bruno's position. You reckon Eriksen's good to start the game? I would rather see of all of the players. I didn't even think of Eriksen. I was more thinking about maybe Ahmad, the same as I think it was Matthew Bassett had on there. Maybe playing Ahmad on the right. But I think I would rather Eriksen. I think I would rather play Eriksen. I know that might be a disrespect to McTominay, but I would rather play Eriksen in Bruno's role and move Bruno further forward. That would be my option.
Yeah, but if Bruno is going into like the central striking position and he's playing as a false 9, he's going to be playing it very different to Rashford or Holjund. Like Holjund is stretching the pitch, making runs in behind, and then will occasionally come and receive in tight areas. Bruno will mainly be receiving in tight areas. So the role that Bruno was previously in, let's call it the 10, has different responsibilities then. So to be honest, if we're going to play a false nine, the three candidates for false nine would be Bruno, Ahmad, and Eriksson from the team. And I would prefer to see Ahmad in central areas rather than wide areas. And I think Ten Hag is of that feeling. But what are the comments saying?
Yeah, well, everyone's got an answer for this. So we deserve better, saying Anthony is good at going around in circles. I would try Anthony on the left wing, says Andrew Williams. So that, and I imagine that's just Rashford.
I mean, the thing is with that, for the way the team's playing, I would probably say try it but can he even cross with his left foot?
I would think
these are the part.
It's his right foot he can't use.
Yeah, but then when he cuts in on his left foot, where does the ball go? When he goes to shoot. So I said, look, that may well be an option. I'm wondering though, Bathtime. Obviously, we've been playing a game a week. When has Holjund been injured? Because if it was yesterday, they've trained a certain way with Holjund in the team.
Right. And
now, if he was injured maybe beginning of the week and they've kept it quiet, then they've had time to maybe play in training Bruno as the 9 or McTominay as whoever as the 9. But if it's only just happened, those players I don't think they don't look like they can take 3 days training. I don't think it's a coincidence that we're winning games and we've had a whole week to prepare.
Maybe. I mean, you'd have to think, right, that Ten Hag might be like a Monday where he's just like toxically positive about any situation. But they've known since Martial, so they've known since like beginning of January that we got one central striker, right? So there has to have been a plan that's been worked on. And to be honest, I'm actually quite swayed by Andrew's argument here of having Rashford central, Garnacho on the right, and Anthony on the left, because one thing it does is that a lot of people are a bit worried about Lindelof at left back. Anthony is probably the best defender of the wide players. So having him helping out Lindelof is something that I could see come into consideration.
Do you think obviously without Shaw playing, the dynamics of how the team play is going to alter? Because one, Lindelof's not going to get up the pitch to overlap. And if he was, he probably would have been better maybe overlapping Rashford. Anthony's going to be new to that position. Has he played on the left for us at all this season? He has. I mean, obviously
he swapped onto the left a few times this season.
Because I don't think we should be moving Garnacho. And Rashford's just going to have to suck it up and do the work if that's the case, if he's going to be the one that plays up front. I mean, Ahmad, he just hasn't had a chance, not even as a sub. And the fact that he's brought in Forsen, I'm not sure. I don't think Ahmad's going to get that opportunity.
I mean, so if we go off hierarchy, like against Wolves, Forsen was on the pitch, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he was playing as number 9 because he assisted Mainu for the thing. I'm getting a lot of this from Stefan, who was on the channel last night, United Philosophy. Go and watch them. He said that there were quotes that Ten Hag sees Forsen as having a huge impact at the club, probably next season. But the fact that he's come on in the Premier League, he's come on recently. I'm now beginning to sway to the fact that it will be Forsen starting, and then we got McTominay and Anthony to come off the bench and make a case for themselves.
Can I just say that's the 5th or 6th option that we've discussed on the show already. Let's go back to the comments. Bath Time will suggest McTominay as a false 9. That's my bet, definitely. DK said agreed. No Anthony, period. That was like 5 minutes ago, and already we've changed our mind. We do better saying Hag will play Anthony as he needs to justify his signing to
You know what? With that one, I don't think he does now. I think he's accepted that he's been crap and he's going to be gone. I think the penny's finally dropped with that one. Sorry.
I think
Sorry, go on.
Just to go to that point, I think that Ten Hag can actually use that to strengthen his position, where he can say that he wanted like a player like Anthony in, but because we didn't have the right structure, we paid too much for him and things like that. And he's a symbol of how poorly the club is run. So give him another chance with better structure. That I imagine that's how he'll try and sell it to Ineos.
Bart saying here, who will sell Anthony if Eric doesn't play him enough? Who will buy Anthony? I think he's trying to say there. Also, we did a bet saying injury prone, talking about Holjund. Everyone has been injury prone. Our fitness team aren't the best in class. So that's a question about the actual staff. And they called it a groin injury. They called it an injured groin. And that Andrew's saying lies about that. Bart saying here.
Yeah, but you obviously didn't see the message that he put in before that.
It's about
so
Maguire,
don't go back. Yeah, don't go back to it, Monday.
Oh,
don't worry.
Maguire,
yeah.
I did read that. I tried to ignore that one. It's a muscle injury, wasn't it? Talking about a certain muscle. Bart is saying here, is Ten Hag to blame for the injuries? Putting the question out there, like he's on the host. He's the chair in this meeting. Matthew Bassett, how are you doing on a Friday? We know what he's up to. Probably just ordered a kebab or something like that. But he's saying Ahmad at right wing. We said central, but yeah, Ahmad's an option. I think that's the 7th option now we've had on the show. Don't know what damage was done, but it's clear where the problem was, says Andrew Williams again. Bart saying here about Holjund injury shows one of United's biggest underrated problems, lack of quality in depth in some positions. It's true that United do not have top-notch first 11, but their second 11 is even worse. Andrew again is saying, I call it as I see it. I could be wrong, but they would call it a groin if I'm right. Okay. I want to say this is my favorite comment so far. The Lit Talk. How you doing, Lit Talk? He says, good work going live so often, lads. Loved the show. Great content.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Guys, can you put something nice? I'm always positive. I want to see, by the time I get to the bottom of these comments, I want to see something positive about the show and about the Man United agenda in the comments. Even if you like, say something nice. I'm rolling down now, so keep typing, guys. Sancho was a 9 with Andrew Williams. We will play Garnacho, Anthony, and Rashford as a striker with Bruno as a 10. That's an interesting one. That's the most common one, I reckon. Stephanie Griffiths is saying here, play Eriksen in Bruno's position and alternate them, maybe.
I would love to see that. I would love to see Eriksen as the. I would love to see that. That's my preferred. I think that out of all of the options that's come, I think that's my preferred one. Rashford stays on his side, Garnacho stays on his side, and then yeah, I would take that. I think he's got the intelligence to play that.
You're not going to change your mind.
I may well do in 20 minutes, but at the moment, that's the one that's sweeting me the most. That's the one that's got my juices flowing.
That's 1 and 2 for me. I'm with you on that one, Mr. B. I like that as well. But I think McTominay instead of Eriksen. Andrew Williams saying here, preseason always overrated. I did get gassed when we beat Arsenal, though, but that was because of Mainu, and he missed the first half of the season. Bruno as a number 9 never worked. I want to say hi to Early Doors. Everyone give him a wave. How you doing, Early Doors? West Ham fan. They had their draw today, didn't they, for the Europa League?
Early Doors. Don't worry about Anthony. We'll deal with our stuff because he is hopeless. Yeah, as you're right, he could be a gooner. He's hopeless. So yeah, we'll get in contact, mate.
Big up, man. We deserve better saying. What did you make of the Hag's winking at Simon Stone while saying "I know" before Simon got his question in? All very strange. So this is a body language expert. We deserve seen something at the press conference. I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, what is this?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to check that out after the show. Yank talking smack. Connor, how you doing, bro? How you doing? He's saying here, McTominay at striker or more Rashford over. Move Rashford over. He's saying there, and have Dalot and Garnacho on the wing. So there's another option 8 from Connor.
I'm with BATHTIME. He doesn't have the attributes to play a striker. He might be able to run and do the pressing part, but can you imagine him trying to receive the ball on the turn up front? Come on, man. He can't even do that in defense. There's no chance. Yeah, I don't think his skill set is for that.
I'd rather
I also
play.
think.
Sorry, go on.
So
Bartime.
just to say that there's been a lot of talk about Amad Diallo at right wing. My mate is a Sunderland fan, and he watched Ahmed like all of like last season, but said he's one of the best players that he's seen at Sunderland for years. But Ahmad could not last past 65 minutes in a championship game. Like I can't see it happening. Like Diallo playing in a wide area for Ten Hag. I don't think he has the fitness or the power to work there. He's much better like inside or central.
Okay, a few more comments before we move on to you guys. Forson was a midfielder, says Yank. It wasn't sensible loaning out both Hugill and McNeil, says Stephanie. It's two sort of forward strikers. 10 likes, thanks, Steph. Oh no, the pum downs. Holjund, says Connor. No kebab tonight for Bassett.
Listen, you lot are high. He hasn't had. I don't think Matt's had a kebab in ages. I don't think he's had a kebab in ages. Oh, well, no, we're not kebab. He's more concentrated on his football. He's been banging them in recently. So
good for you, Matty Bassett.
Yeah.
Like, do Grealish and have like loads of kebabs in the off season, and then just then get them goals in the off season. In season.
So just on that Grealish one, he hasn't been great this season, has he?
No, I think he might have been injured
or drunk for too long.
Well, I mean, if you're Pep, you got to look at that and think this is a bit much, isn't it? Like he had like Julian Alvarez come back after winning the World Cup and behaving himself and contributing to the treble, and then like he's out enjoying his trophy parade. And like they've stuck with Grealish in a fluorescent yellow jacket in case he gets lost and wanders off because he's half cut the whole time. Like I bet you Pep wasn't impressed with that.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Regardless of what we paid, he still has to justify the signing of Ante to Enos. Saying there, that's from We Deserve Better. DK was saying, if that's what Ten Hag does by half time, he's not selling anything. Fact is, he wanted Ante when he was offered for 32 to 35 mil. Andrew's saying, I'm positive that Darius is a closet train spotter. We asked for positive comments. Thank you. Good to see him. Early Doors is saying here, it's always good to see Bath Time and the great talking Yabba and the laughter of Mr. B. Always a great panel. Not to mention Dora as well. That's what we love. Thank you, Early Doors. That's lovely. That's lovely. No more lovely comments. That's about it.
Stop begging for nice comments. Like beg for likes or something useful.
Yeah, just say exactly. United philosophy. Where you see this now? Oh, don't wind me up, man. Please don't. I just don't.
He's just joined the channel, Mr. B. Come in and give him a comment. You're threatening him.
No, I didn't. You know what? I didn't. Oh God, did that sound bad? What I meant was, good evening, United philosophy. I hope you're enjoying your Friday. Stefan, yeah, I know who it is. And I really hope that you're talking trash. I really hope that you got this one wrong.
Big up Raja as well. He said he didn't want Evans in anyway. So big up Raja, and he's got a solution. We'll play Bruno at a false 9 and Ahmed as a 10. Okay, there you go. Thanks, guys.
Over Ericsson. I don't know. Well, I'm still look. Regardless of what gets put out tomorrow, I am very, very confident of a win. I think for the team, I think this will be the game where players are going to step up. The ones, Ten Hag said it, players need to step up now. Those ones who have been sitting down there quietly stewing because the team has gone on a nice little run. I think they need to step up. And I'm not sure they could do it for 3 and 4 games. But for one game, you hype your ass and you get yourself running like a dog. If Rashford has to play Hoylund's role, he needs to do it better than he's been doing. Come off the pitch on 75 minutes, be blowing out of your arse, which means that we know that you've done a job. I did see a little video of him pressuring Barkley. Have you not seen it in the Luton game?
Yeah.
Oh, bath time. I don't even know. You would lose your mind. you would lose your mind. He jockeyed him, and then he just jogged round him. He just literally jogged round him, and I just think, so I
just kick him. Like
he didn't get close enough. He didn't get close enough. He had like 3 yards. Barkley jogged. Barkley's not fast. He's not fast. I want them to raise their game tomorrow. I really want them to raise their game tomorrow.
When you're in midfield and you see something like that, you know how like I hold grudges and I've got like an Excel spreadsheet of all the different people that I'm fighting with going back to like 1998 with Ashworth and stuff. Rashford is straight in that database at the end of the game. You see it on the pitch. You can't do anything about it at the time, but you go and you get hold of them in the dressing room and you tell them they've got to work harder, because when you do that, you're not doing the work. You're expecting someone else to do it for you. And you're not Messi, you're not Ronaldo, you're not allowed to do that. Everyone's got to work together. And I'm pretty sure that the boys on social media see that kind of stuff, and like Rashford will. I'm hoping a combination of like people getting on at him in the dressing room about that and PSG links means that we're going to get a performance out of Marcus this weekend, because we need one. Like we need that cutting edge of last season from him.
Maybe. I'm not going to disagree. There's a lot of comments have been made in the chat over this season, and I disagreed with a lot of them. And as the season's gone on, you start seeing. I don't want to see what other people see in certain players, but you sit down in the cold light of day, you think he really is a whatless son of a bitch, or he really does. And I don't want to feel like that. I like feeling positive. I like being like you on Monday. You know what I mean? You talk about Man United and look, smile. See, look, Man United smile straight away. I don't. Sometimes I don't have that. Sometimes I don't. I just sit down. Maybe I'm being too analytical. Listening to Bath Time talking tactics has maybe got me looking.
Don't blame it on me.
Look, well, I have to blame it on somebody, and I can't blame it on Solo because he's not here.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I'm worried. Anyway,
what about Rashford?
Yeah.
What do you think is hard playing it?
I do. I do. He doesn't play like. Does he play like he gives a shit? Really, if you look at it at the close light of day, he didn't used to be. It's not like Martial. Martial wasn't smiling from day one. Rashford's just gone from this happy. I'm not saying he's not happy, but the body language that. Yeah, we're coach. You're a coach on Monday. You see things on a pitch. Bath Time. You've been playing football long enough to know when somebody's just not at it or doesn't want to be at it. And sometimes I just feel this. Maybe it is. Maybe big decisions that are going to be made in the summer will be ones that certain people don't like.
You're talking about observing players. I mean, we're observing. This is a good comment from Andrew. He says he's been found out he's mentally weak. But we're judging that on the body language, him sulking, not doing the work, not encouraging, not showing leadership skills, when all those things he should be doing, because he's one of the most established players in our club, having been in and around the first team for 7-8 years now, is it? Since he arrived on the scene. So, yeah, we do expect better from him. And I think the expectations rise, especially when he has a good output last season, scored 30 goals. But it still wasn't consistent, was it? So there's other things going on, obviously, outside of football with Rashford. And it's interesting because Andrew's made other good comments talking about if it was under Pep, he would have had them, Sane, Torres or Canelo, which means top players who were just kicked out of the club. And he did it to Sancho as well, in a way, get rid of them. He wants players that are on board with his mentality and who are going to fight. And often he punishes his good players at the club. You mentioned Grealish earlier, who gets them in line. There's a period where Cancelo wasn't getting in the side when we were saying he's the best fullback in. Well, not we, but the majority of people were saying that he's one of the best fullbacks in world football. And suddenly Pep edged him out, maybe to get him hungry again, show who's boss. Unfortunately, at Man United, Rashford hasn't had a manager being able to do that to him until Ten Hag, I feel, who's been able to sort of bench him and give him some discipline publicly as well. And I think that's what he needs, but he hasn't had enough of it prior to this. So we've got a child that's grown up and got to maybe a bit too big for his boots and never been disciplined before. And when he's disciplined as a man, he doesn't like it, and then he can start sulking. So I think I'm disappointed. You want to see our players perform better than this. Obviously, hunger is vital. DK was saying here, bath time. True about Rashford. Real question about Marcus. He did change after being criticised for allegedly paying more attention to the philanthropic.
What does that mean?
It means philanthropy is doing things for other people.
Okay.
For the society in general.
Okay.
I've learned something.
I tell you what, I don't think I've ever seen that. I've heard of philanthropy when it ends in a P, but I've never seen it ending as that. It's one easy. There.
Philanthropic.
Philanthropic. I've never heard that word. I've never heard that word in my life.
Say that smoothly in like my have that in my vocabulary. Yeah. Drop that.
Philanthropic.
Yeah, drop it now and then.
They would just drip. They would just fall off her.
Yeah.
Sorry. In terms of Rashford, I'm going to give you some positives about Rashford since Belfast.
I still love him. I just want him to be good.
I think that we've seen him. I can remember in a game recently, there was an injury or break in play or something, and he went and grabbed Rasmus and spoke to him like a teammate. I like that. He's been in better defensive positions a lot in the last 6 or 7 games. Like even with the Barkley stuff, he still isn't sort of like contributing enough, but he's getting back. Against Luton, he was getting back and helping the team out. I just think that he carries the weight of the world on his shoulders at the moment, and he's not enjoying his football. And you think back to how his teammates have tried to help him, in particular Bruno giving him that penalty. Like none of them were doing that for Rasmus. Yeah, you remember that? Like really what we need from Marcus is to get an early goal against Fulham. He can go up, he can go at these sort of like mid-table centre backs and left backs, and then get him in good confidence to play City, where he's going to be the main danger. And then I think we make a decision on him at the end of the season with the rest of the players. Because even though like it's not great today, we've got a lot of injuries with Evans and things like that. I think the league is actually a little bit scared of United at the moment. We're on a really good run of form. We're scoring goals, and we've got like Mr. Big Balls in Ratcliffe coming in and just taking people out of our rivals' clubs. And he's putting pressure on the government for a stadium. He's acting like he is Britain's richest ever man, and he's got power. And I've got a feeling that something is happening at United now, and we're moving towards something. And we just need to get through. We need to whip forward a week, be in the cup, and be in the top 4 race. And I think things will be looking pretty rosy.
So it's 2 wins. You're saying this one and the next one are vital for what we can be doing moving forward, yeah?
Yeah, if you saw the preview last night, Fulham, it should be a massacre.
They did. Yeah. It
should be a massacre. Forest, Forest they could be getting a 10-point deduction or something in the coming weeks. I can't imagine that the FA Cup is at the top of their priorities, and it should absolutely be the top of our priority when we've done Fulham. So I think that we're all right, and I think that we're going to get 2 wins. But the issue is that we've got to sort out what our forward line is and what our left back is for the rest of the season. And I want Ten Hag to stick with it. Like as you say, we got more time for training and stuff. Like just pick a left back and stick with him, pick a forward and stick with him, and let's get through this and rely on our quality, like our tactical setup, our determination, our desire, which we haven't been able to rely on ever, but let's try now. And let's go for it. We're Manchester United. And we've been here so many times. Like when we won the treble, think of the injuries and suspensions we had. Like these boys have got to find like something in between their legs.
Something,
yeah, and go for it, or they're not United quality. Like say what you want about McTominay, when you need, like he will come and try and do something. What we need is the players with more quality, like Rashford, to have that and go and do it. And it's a lot of it is on Ten Hag, in my opinion, now, because I spoke to my uncle today, right, on Monday. See what you think about this. Spoke to my uncle today, and we all know that Ten Hag has said a few times this season he's really happy with his squad and the quality. Like he wasn't in a position to say, look, we need money spent and things. But he's got rid of, he hasn't brought a left back in, and he hasn't brought a striker in, right? And he's doing that for the future. So that not to hurt, like doing it now hurts us with FFP and money we can spend in the future. So he thinks he might be staying by agreeing to these things, right? Because he sees himself as part of that future. What Ten Hag has got to do now is he's got to get this team through the next 3 games with 2 wins and hopefully a draw. Like, if he doesn't do that, would you ask questions of him as his biggest supporter?
No, I wouldn't. I just want to say your uncle sounds like a very wise man. I see where you get your wisdom from there. That's a good point he makes about Ten Hag. I got a text from Rebel earlier, and this applies to you as well, Mr. B, saying, see, we've got an injury now. I told you about January window and how important it is to strengthen your squad. But yeah, it's probably true. There must be talks in the background. Your uncle's right, that Ten Hag would say, all right, I accept this is the way to go forward. You've got to think long term, and I'm part of that. And you don't have those discussions with your senior team or whatever, people that pay your wages, unless there's some sort of strategy here going forward. So that makes a very good point, and that gives me some encouragement. I do want Ten Hag to hang around, and I think you got that's loyalty and to work under sort of bad conditions and sort of accept that. But I think something needs to come out, not from Ten Hag, but because the fans might boo them, they might not be aware of this. I think with all the lip flapping we've seen from Ratcliffe lately, he should also say something about the manager, and he's not.
No, why? He has. The thing is, he said he said something the other day where, to me, I don't remember it word for word. He didn't want to put himself in a corner, because if he stinks for the rest of the season, and he said he's going to keep him. Yeah. I think maybe they've had their personal conversations, but he can't afford to drop off. We're not in top 4 yet. We're not guaranteed nothing this season. If we were second or third by 15 points, you got the talk. But right now, every game means something. So I think he's right. Keep him on his toes. Don't let it know public that he's going to be keeping his job, even if he is. Step up.
Yeah. The question was about over the next 3 games. If we get 2 wins and a draw, the draw would have to be against City. Like, that's vital. You're going on like that. That's vital. I don't think it is vital.
Well, I said hopefully.
So what are we accepting, that we would lose to City, and it's all right?
Yeah, losing away at City is like
what everybody does.
Never acceptable.
But it can't be 6-3 or 4-1 or whatever. It's all we're asking for is a performance at City. Like, we don't have Solskjaer and like whatever voodoo curse he put on Pep to just go and get results at the Etihad. But Monday, Ratcliffe has said something about the managerial position, and it's very encouraging to Ten Hag, because, to paraphrase it, what he said is, in the last 11 years, United have had 5 or 6 top coaches, and none of them have succeeded. So maybe it's not about changing the coach, it's about changing the structure around him. And the general consensus from athletic journalists and things that I've seen, which, albeit some of it has been on Twitter, is that they're willing to give Ten Hag some time whilst they get the house in order, because they feel that with the footballing structure, no one has been given a fair crack of the whip. I am more on the view of Andrew, where I think they are looking to upgrade him, because they've gone and just got the best people that they could at boardroom level, at coaching level. Why wouldn't that extend to the training pitch?
And they've done it quickly. They're not
Yeah.
even messing around. I mean, you could be right. I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be. I don't think he has been given a chance. I don't think. I wouldn't be happy. I think he's
so you would be upset started. if he was.
I would. I would. Don't get me wrong. If the next manager comes in, wins us the league, then all of a sudden I'm not upset anymore. I'm not going to be that guy who's not going to celebrate us being great because I prefer the other manager. But I just don't think. I don't think he's been given the chance. And the fact that the people around him now understand that there's been no manager that's been given a chance. I'm hoping that. I mean, he was winning games at Ajax. All right, it's the Dutch league. But then you look at what he was doing in the Champions League. Ajax weren't that bad. Ajax weren't that bad in the Champions League. So I just want to see him not backed with millions in the summer, but back to how Ineos do their things, while we're getting in these people who see future stardom in players. We're not going to be the one who's spending the 75 million now. We're going to be the one who's spending the 15, the 25 million. And guess what? If it doesn't work out, we're still able to make a little bit of money on these players. Who's our most expensive sale again? Dan James?
Well, Ronaldo.
Recent times, I mean.
Recent.
Elanga.
Elanga was 15. James was about 30. Di Maria and Lukaku, are they recent players?
Not really, no.
Okay, then Dan James. But I mean, the other thing that Ineos said, right, is that is it 2027's our 150-year anniversary or something? I'm not great with my history, to be honest. But there is an anniversary coming up in 3 or 4 years. And Ratcliffe said that he thought that was a sensible time to be looking at winning the title. What I would quite like from Ineos, if they do keep Ten Hag, is that we have to look at what Arteta and Klopp did and not just say it's a process. There has to be demonstrable stuff happening on the pitch, like in terms of performances. Because I think when I first came on this channel, I said I was scared of Arsenal because of the players they were signing, like the way they were moving forwards. I felt that I could see something happening there. You could obviously see something happening with Klopp's Liverpool, but I don't feel that you see enough happening from Ten Hag on the pitch. I think that this over-reliance on Martinez and Shaw, who we have to class as injury prone, is worrying. We've got
class as injury prone.
Exactly. That's why I said I class them as injury prone.
You said we.
I class them. I'm the royal we. But we've been bailed out a hell of a lot this season, like with McTominay and Mainu and Garnacho and things like this. Like it feels like that you're not looking on the pitch and seeing players unable to produce what Ten Hag wants, because we're still quite confused what Ten Hag wants. Like, if you took Pep, to either of your football teams, I bet you within a week you would see what he was trying to do. But with Ten Hag, I'm not sure. So even though I'm up for keeping Ten Hag,
babe,
yes. Even though I'm not keeping Ten Hag,
I muted it too late, didn't I? I just realized you are. Oh, you you couldn't have just kept your mouth shut, could you, bro?
No, that's why you call me babe. But I've forgotten what I was saying. Omondi, talk to me.
Yeah, you're trashing the manager. I don't like it. But the point about his style of play. I see Andrew saying there's no style of play, the disappointment. I think we were talking how we led on to the manager because we were talking about the ownership, the changes, and the positivity, and even the owner sort of kind of endorsed him. I didn't feel that he spoke about the manager the other day, and I would like him to speak about the manager to have some clarity about what the role is, and maybe that statement that he did make about this changing manager all the time not being so good. I think the fan base needs to hear this, because we could lose, like you said, starting with you talk about next 3 games. We could have a great start. Look, we're unbeaten in 2024. And then with injury now and to our striker who's on the streak, suddenly that stopped. And then we've got some tough games. We've got City. If we lose against City, suddenly everyone will forget about what's happened in January and February and forget about the good work that's been done. So this happens.
Do you think that's true?
Yeah, if we lose against City,
if we lose 1-0 to City,
well, that's different.
And we put in a good account of ourselves.
Yeah, that's different. But we could lose like badly. But initially, no, Mr. B, look at Mr. B. He's so passionate. He won't be happy initially or during the watch along. He'll be like, oh man, we're never happy with losing to City, and it is, and it's never acceptable. But as things stand right now, they are better than us, and we have to say that that's true. So to say that we have to beat City or get a draw against City, I think is unrealistic and unfair on the manager. I think judge him by last season coming third, which is punching above, I think, what we had. And this season, with the turnaround that we're seeing right now, take into consideration the injuries he keeps having to battle with, like all season we're having injuries. Last season we had suspensions to deal with as well, with certain man, going to ground or doing foolishness, and injuries as well. So you have to take everything into consideration before you start trashing a manager.
Right, I'll give you
given the opportunity to really.
I'll give you a flip side.
When he has lit that candle, we came third and won a trophy. So I still back him. I'm not about to trash him.
Fair enough. This is what the concern with the City match is for me and members of my family. If the players don't want Ten Hag, that is the game they will throw him under the bus for. Like the City match is so important because it's whether he's got the trust of the players. There are some there, like Maguire, like McTominay, like Johnny Evans, like Kobe Mainu, who I think they would play for a plant pot. They will play for the club, not for the manager. But there are a couple there. Obviously, you're thinking Rashford would be the first one. I think Varane and Casemiro as well. There will be some there that could see that as an opportunity to throw the manager under the bus. And this is why the City game is so important to Erik Ten Hag inners, because if the team don't go and commit in that game and work their socks off, they sign his death warrant, in my view.
And that's what fans will notice then.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Andrew. Like, Andrew's a top fan of Man United. I'm seeing...
He's a Swansea fan for a start.
Okay, well... and I think he speaks a lot. I've heard a lot of Man United fans talk the same as him about wanting Ten Hag out. But I think, Yank talking smack also said you can't go every 2 years sacking the manager. So the fan base are a bit divided, but I'm with Mr. B. I back him for now for the work, the investment he put in last year, and showed me under conditions like this and knowing that we're going to struggle for the next few years, he's the man to take us forward, and we cannot disrespect him.
But has he taken us forward?
Yes, he has. Season? Third place. Listen, we came third place.
No, this season.
This season, I wouldn't. If we hadn't had this form and been unbeaten in 2024 and continued like we did for the first few months when we had players out and Sancho, bad apple around this club as well, I'm looking at it now and saying, okay, Ineos are coming in, positivity with the ownership, good form, finally coming around, young players being bedded in, and the good signings being made with the striker who's starting to perform, and he's on a streak of 7 games in a row. These are a lot of positive things we can just point out, and there's enough there to sort of put into consideration that maybe, just maybe, he is the right man for the job. And so, we might go into the next few games being, every game's important because we need to close the gap, but we might go into the next few games assessing it, thinking, okay, now it's a concern. But let's not forget what we've done to get here in a position to say we can actually fight for top 4, because we could have been completely out of it right now.
Yeah, but all right, how many games do you think that he has impacted with his coaching and his training?
every single game, because you're going to make him responsible for the losses. So I'm going to make him responsible for the wins as well. So every single game he's had impact.
All right, but in a positive sense, where has and you can use McTominay if you want, but where has a substitution or tactical change like given us the upper hand this season that you can remember?
That's a good question. I'd have to wrap my brains on that and sort of come back.
All right, have a think.
I don't know. By the time I think about that, I'll have a think about it. I'm not sure, but what I am sure about is the injuries, the things that he's got. You know, he's carried a lot of weight in his shoulders at a big club, and I think he's handled it quite well. And I think, you know, these next few games will be crucial. Let's discuss this. All right, today is the day. It's the 22nd of Feb. Okay. Let's discuss it after the Man City game. Once we've played Fulham, once we've played Man City, come back. Let's have a show and discuss what we said today. Clip it, that we said it's important to get through this. He's got injuries to deal with. Can he get through these next two games with some positive results? If he does,
if we're doing that, can I bring up the conversation we had in the summer about all the potential issues that I thought Ten Hag might have?
Bring it,
and we can have a big "I told you so" session.
Yeah, for sure. If you, it's true. I think you have to be responsible, innit, Mr. B? If you make a claim, you have to back your claim. You know, and you got to be able to back it. And so, anyone making a claim on the panel or in the comments, please come and back it. You know, I'm claiming that he should remain as manager. I'm claiming that it doesn't matter if we lose to City, because he's done enough good work this year to turn it around and get people back on the side. And I think we will win against Fulham with the injuries at left back and without a striker. And I think we will continue to close the gap. And there's to be teams above us like Spurs and Villa that will drop points as well. So it's not just about that. We've got a battle here. I want all people behind our manager. And I don't want none of this negativity or question marks. Wait to the end of the season and then put the judgment in. But for now, I don't want to be having all this question marks about him and maybe this, maybe that. I've got those question marks. I have.
Yeah, but you're on the United agenda. You can't tell people not to question what is happening.
Agreed, but I'm gonna counter that. It's like Kung Fu. You hit me with some big thing. I'm gonna counter it with my. We have been unbeaten. Pow 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 this year. You know.
But that's a different point to the one you're making. What that suggests is that you're allowed to throw punches and that you're going to counter them. What you're saying is, I don't want to hear any of this. I want to just be in my echo bubble with my thoughts only.
You know, what's this? The secret? What's it? The secret, or speak it, believe it, become it, kind of thing. I'm on that mindset where I think we can get fourth place. I think we have to back the manager. Like you said, what's the point in going? What's the issue with away form? You go play away from home. You got fans doing their best to put you off and make you feel bad about your game and make you feel intimidated. It shows. So negativity has a big impact on players and on your own team and everything else. Look what happened to Harry Maguire. Thankfully, he's got thick skin. He's made of titanium and he hasn't folded under that. Look what happened to Rasmus. Thankfully, he's got thick skin and character and he hasn't folded under the pressure when there's question marks about him. You know, so I think give the man time. He made a great investment last season with third place. Give him to the end of the season, and then let's really go in. If you want to go in, that's when the boots will get in. So shine up your DMs and wait for the end of the season, and then put the boots in.
What does shine up your DMs mean?
It means
don't you know
caps.
Don't you know Dr. Martins?
Oh, I was thinking about direct messages. I understand what it is. what it is now. But yeah, like Monday, I understand. I understand the point that you're making. But what I quite like is now what you're saying is that you're going to judge the manager at the end of the season. But for now, you're supporting him and the team.
And rightly so.
Yeah. No, that's I agree with that. I think that's a fair point.
There's loads of comments, guys. I mean, I'm trying to click them up, but we've been going off, haven't we, on the panel, and you guys have been going off as well. Shall I touch on a few?
Please.
Yeah, before I have to eat, yeah.
Okay. Yank Talking Smack said, if we get a new manager, get someone like Alonso at Leverkusen, he's doing a fantastic job punching. Stephanie's saying here, how many times in the last 10 seasons have United secured par? That means a par 75 points, average 2 points per game to guarantee Champions League football. That should be the bare minimum and collect a cup or two. Andrew Williams saying here, Amanda, you're forgetting. Are you saying how? Sorry, you are saying how we will forget January and February, but you are the one that seems to have forgotten the rest of the months there. So when we had injuries and everything else. Yank saying here, you back the manager as long as they're at the helm. I only stop supporting the manager once a new one's been appointed, which is fair. We deserve better. Saying here, the players aren't just playing for Tag; they're playing for Ineos and their careers. Yeah, that's a good point. Knowing that they're being watched now, new management. Big up to Moss Sports World. Said he has us winning versus Fulham despite Rasmus out. Right when he started to be on a roll. Yeah, big up to Moss. How you doing, man? Thanks for jumping on. And a couple more. Just sub vids in the house. Don't forget the outro. It's done by sub vids, guys. Tune in at the end of the show. He said before every game lately, people are saying if we lose, Ten Hag will be sacked.
Good pressure.
Yeah, he's a survivor. To be fair, Ten Hag.
Pressure.
And big up to lads. Oh, Niall Kane. How you doing, bro? How you doing? Lovely to see you in the house. Avatar, Yabba, and Maguire. Talking about Maguire, Yank saying here, Maguire's head definitely titanium. How hard the ball bounces off it, for sure. And hold on a minute. Here's a good comment. Omondi speaks. That's my positive opinion. Full stop. Oh yeah, we did ask for positive opinions of the show, and there's one.
Well, look, what I will say is it took Steph 45 minutes to come up with something positive about you, Omondi. So, yeah, well done, Steph, for finding something positive. Look, guys, we've hit the hour mark, and as you can probably hear, or you can't hear, my belly's rumbling. It's that time of the night. It's that time. It's not a kebab. So, guys,
what are you doing tonight?
The food's already been ordered. It's getting cold. So
right, what are we doing tomorrow, Mr. B?
Watch along. Oh, sorry, is that what you meant? Sorry. Look, thank you, Matty, for that. That'll go towards my biryani. 100% got the watch along to do tomorrow. And then we will work out what we're going to be doing about the reaction show afterwards. But look, as long as you hit 100% doing a watch along tomorrow. So join me 2:45 for the madness, and I promise not to be swearing.
Thank you, Matthew Bassett. Guys, there is an option. You can drop £2 in or whatever you want to do. But I appreciate that so much, Matthew, who's also a member of the show as well. You can become members if you look at the YouTube channel and how to become a member. Follow the instruction there. But Stephanie Griffin saying, great show, everyone. Andrew Williams saying, I'm not calling for sacking. I'm calling the month. I'm not just calling for. Okay, we deserve better saying here. Where's my check? Hopefully it's in the post as well. So what's this? Yeah, are we doing? What's happening tomorrow for the game? 3
Yeah,
o'clock?
we got the watch on. Yeah, 3 o'clock game tomorrow. I did actually think the game was on Sunday. That shows I've been away this week, but yeah. But look, 100% we got the watch along tomorrow. And if we can get a reaction show out tomorrow, we will do. If not, guys, then it will be some stage on Sunday. I hope we don't lose.
Do it after the watch along. I can just pop on with you after the watch along.
Oh, there you go, bath time. See, I think that might work a little bit better. To be fair,
I was supposed to be around. I'm sorry, I'm not around tomorrow. I'm going out with Mrs. To do a bit of karaoke, but now she's saying she refuses, so I have to do it alone.
Mr.
Oh my God! I thought it was something. Oh, Monday.
So
Monday.
You two
no more
alone tomorrow as well. So with the reaction and watch along. But yeah, hopefully we can bring this.
Guys,
right, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, we're gone because on Monday started with these old granddad, proper great granddad jokes now because we're probably all a little bit old on here for that. But look, guys, thanks for watching. On Monday, you hopeless son of a bitch.
Come on, big up, man.
We will be back on 2:45. We'll be there for the watch along, guys. We are out
later.